the prayer sessions, and thank you all participants for your cooperations. Before we start the talk, I believe most of us are familiar with the hybrid and the virtual event, right? However, we have invited a person who can enhance our understanding regarding this topic. He is the CEO and the founder of Evenesis, and he is also an expert in the technologies, and he has an important role in forming the corporation CRM system, mobile workforce automations, and GIS. So without further ado, let us welcome Mr. Yusno Yunos.
Thank you, MC. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Very good morning. Just want to do a sound check. Can everyone hear me? Thumbs up will do, eh? Yeah. Alright. So it's clear, ya. Okay, terima kasih UUM. Thank you, Dr. Rawani, for inviting me for this session. I'm happy to see we have over, tengok the screen, total number of participants in the room is about 202, yeah. Amazing. Happy to see everyone able to wake up this early. I hope you guys have had your breakfast. Good. Shall we start? I'll share my screen, yeah. All right. So I know the topic is a bit long, as you guys can see. I know this is supposedly to be something related to virtual and hybrid. I'm gonna dive into that a bit. At the same time, I'm gonna extend it a bit to how it can help in terms of sustainability and inclusivity, together with having a better event experiences. Yeah. Now, we will be using Slido a lot in between my slides and presentation. This is to ensure you guys are not going to sleep or doing other things. Yeah, so if you guys can do me a favor, maybe by just scanning the QR code in front of your screen, or I mean, if you're using a mobile phone and it's easier for you to do the scanning. If not, you can just open up a web page and then you just type slido.com and then just key in that code 3796662. Right? If you are able to scan, or if once you are able to get into the Slido page, just give a thumbs up or a heart or whatever it is on the screen, so I know we are all ready to go. Great. So there are two channels that we can use for Q&A. So feel free to drop any messages or questions in Slido and also in the chat. I think Webex has a chat room that you guys can simply drop a message. Thank you for the first question. We'll be talking a bit more on that soon. Very good. So I do need some help from the MC or whoever that is monitoring the Webex chat and also Slido Q&A. If I have missed out certain questions, yeah, feel free to take note, and then maybe at the end of the session, maybe you can just highlight whichever questions that I haven't answered yet. All right, so I guess everyone's in, yeah? Good. I'm gonna do a bit of a polling. So stay on your screen in Slido. I just want to know the rough numbers of people who are here. Just wanted to know how many of you are from UUM, faculty member or maybe from other schools, we can have a better idea here because I do know that some of the invitations have gone out to some other polytechnics and universities as well. Okay, we do have some from UKL Business School. Do you have any others? Let's think. Majority, definitely. You guys are from UUM. Good. Thank you for taking the time to answer these questions because I know out of the 200 people that we have, we can see maybe about one third who have answered. It was increasing, very good. Right. I mean, I'm okay if once I manage to get at least half of you to give some feedback, so that at least I know that you guys are still there. Uh, you guys are still listening, all right? Okay, thank you very much. I think I'm just gonna move on to the next one. See what else we have here. Okay, we're gonna do some ranking a bit today. So in Slido, you can just drag and drop. Yeah, out of all of these topics that we're gonna cover today, just let me know. Yeah, what would be the ones that interest you the most? Because definitely we're gonna talk a bit about virtual, hybrid, sustainability, inclusivity, and definitely the technology and apps that are related to everything. All right, awesome. Yep, click on ranking the topics here. You can drag and drop. So it seems like a lot of you would be interested to know on hybrid, yeah? And not many of you that is that interested to know about inclusivity. All right. Okay, virtual event, tech, and apps are quite close. Sustainability is a bit far. I I think it's about right because I think majority of the section that we're going to talk about centers, of course, around 1, 2, and 3. And then later on, towards the end, we're going to cover 4 and 5. Thank you very much, guys. And last but not least, just wanted to have an understanding a bit on which of these events do you prefer to attend. This is interesting. So you guys would like to meet the person or to be present, right? 62, 63%. Ni Dr. Nawan ni, nampak ni gayanya saya kena pergi UM ni. Tak boleh buat virtual. Lupa kata, apa, kena datang ke UM.
Inshallah, Mr. Yusno, we will invite you later. Maybe next time we have opportunity, we'll have that.
I know. No worries, no worries. Okay. Yeah, I guess you guys have gone through the 2 years of COVID can, so it comes to no surprise lah that virtual will be the least preferred method. And of course, we would like to have more engagement. Can you get to meet the person after the event? You get to actually see the person as in the uh, and interact. I think that is understandable. Okay, terima kasih. Thank you again. I think we'll come back to uh, Slido shortly. I'm just going to go back to my presentation and do a bit of introduction about myself. I think that the MC has explained a bit. I think those are some of the things that you can get from my LinkedIn profile. Yeah. So how do I see myself? I think five words there. So I love to innovate, and my passion has always been about technology. So this is the reason why I started my company back in 2010. My background has always been about software development. So I love to build things. So I can keep my passion going by involving myself in technology related stuff. So I stumble into events, um, and all of this while the technologies that we have developed are all related to event, whether it is pre-COVID, during COVID, and of course post-COVID. So on our platform, we do have a lot of apps and technologies related to events, or whether it is on in-person, virtual, or even hybrid. Um, I like to teach as well. So part of the things that I do is to share knowledge, to conduct trainings. So I'm a certified HRD Corp trainer as well. And I did some teaching actually before I started my company. So I was a part-time lecturer in IIUM, UIA. I did about 3 semesters there, teaching database, programming, information systems management. So whatever that I've learned and the experience that I've gone through, I use that as the basis of my sharing to you guys. I have led many teams throughout my years in business and in my career as a software developer and entrepreneur. I see myself more of the tech entrepreneur. Those days we call ourselves technopreneur, but I think these days you see us more as a technology entrepreneur. And the last word that I put up on the screen is called a collaborator. So this is a word combination, growing by collaborating. So in a lot of cases, the way we can improve, the way we can grow, whether you are working, whether you are running your own company, is to find the right partner, partner that is bigger than you, partner that is willing to go the long way with you. So this is why I always say that to grow, we have to collaborate. Yeah. Just took this some screenshots from my LinkedIn profile. So I think you guys can follow or get connected. You can just search my name in LinkedIn. Yeah. Um, I think in most of the submet I go by Yusno Yunos, but my full name is actually Muhammad. There's a Muhammad, yeah, Muhammad Yusno bin Muhammad Yunus. So a little bit about the company. So I think I've explained earlier that this is our the software that we developed and continue to grow and develop. It is called Evenesis. It is local, homegrown. A lot of event companies are using us. So it is a software as a service. So you can use it for your registration, ticketing. You can use it for your virtual, hybrid, in-person. So there are a variety of modules that are available in our app. Yeah. Of course, we are committed towards net zero carbon events. I'm going to share a bit about this later on. So we do beyond just software. We also do managed services. So this is where we develop our team to help event organizers on the ground, where we come in, we provide advice, consultation. We teach them how to use technology and apps in the right way so that they can improve the overall event experiences. So Evenesis at the end of the day is not just a tool, but it is a sustainable tool for you to actually create an experiential events. So this is basically the team. We are in Kuala Lumpur. We are in Bukit Jalil. Yeah. So over the years, we have gone through a few countries. We started in Malaysia, then we expanded in Singapore. Now we have presence in Indonesia, Philippines, Thailand, and most recently, we just came back actually from an event in Cambodia. Okay, Now, let's go back to Slido. Yeah, back to the Slido. Now we're gonna do a quiz. Yeah, to lighten the mood a bit. We're gonna do a quiz. So for that to happen, I guess you guys need to join the quiz and put your name or your whatever uh, short names or nicknames that you want to be identified, because there will be leaderboards where you can see who gets the right or the most correct answers within the shortest time. There are not many questions. We only have about, I think, six questions. And each question you would only have about 20 seconds to answer. Okay, so I don't think you have enough time to even Google the question to get the answer. I mean, you could if you are a fast typer, or if you have like your ChatGPT on standby. Yeah, I'm gonna get everyone to be able to participate. So yeah, feel free to just key in your name quickly before I begin the quiz. Because if not, then you're gonna miss out this session. So we have about 73, 73, 74. To save time, I'm just gonna get it going once it hits 80. So if you are late, you will miss this. All right. Okay, you're almost there. All right, let's get started, guys. All right. The rest of you can always participate later on, yeah? All right. Um, it could be a trick question, so I'm not sure. The recent election in the States. So who is the 46th president? The current one, I'm not sure whether it is 46, 47. This could be a trick question for you. All right. Actually, the answer is not Donald Trump. Donald Trump is the 47th and the 45th president of the US. Yeah. The most recent one is the 47th. So those who answered Joe Biden is the correct one. All right. And now let's get back to our own country. So who's the seventh Prime Minister of Malaysia? Let's start counting. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Who? All right. Okay. We need to do some refresher, yeah, in terms of our country's history. It's from Dr. Mahdi, yeah? 7. All right. Now, if you have listened to my earlier presentation, you would know the full name, yeah, of me. All right. I'm glad that at least half of you got it right. Okay. All right, let's check the leaderboard for a while. We still have 4 more questions to go. So the one who has gotten all the answers correct so far, as you can see, the top 5, yeah? Okay, good. Now let's get on to the next question. Generative AI platform, Gen AI. So something that is similar to Chat GPT, but which one of this is not? Yeah. All right. The correct answer is TensorFlow. Okay, so Gemini, I think you're very familiar. Google, Copilot, Microsoft. You would have Midjourney. It's actually a Gen AI to create images. Same goes with Delhi, Microsoft platform. It's a Gen AI to create images as well. But TensorFlow is the answer, which is not one of the Gen AI platform. Okay. Next. It's just a true or false question. So pre-2020, 19% of event organizers use virtual platforms regularly. Do you agree? You don't agree? Is it true? I mean, the statistics, is it true or false?
Kasebut tak? Kasebut tak?
Okay, I think for those of you who just joined, I need your help to mute yourself. Okay, thank you. Answer is definitely true. So in fact, before COVID, people have started to use Zoom already. Zoom has been there even before COVID, but it is not used that regularly. Only 90% of event organizers use it. But during COVID, is it true that virtual platforms utilization has increased over 1,000%? Okay, majority of you say yes. Pretty sure the answer is also yes. think throughout that 2 years or 2.5 years during COVID, I think majority of our work, events, everything that we do is concentrated or utilize or basically using virtual platforms. Last question. Okay, so this is basically the current leaderboard. See, it has changed a bit from the previous one. I think a lot of you got caught in that Gen AI question. Okay, so this is the top 5. So last question. So now, yeah, statistics have shown that roughly about 65% of organizers actually now plan to use hybrid as a core part of their strategy. Is it true or false? The answer is true. So there you go. I'm not sure who that person is. So congratulations, S. So you are the one with 6 out of 7 and the one with the fastest response. Good, good. So thank you again for participating. I'm gonna go back to my slides now. Okay. So the statistics that I've shown here corresponds to the questions earlier, showing you the timeline of the utilization of virtual before COVID, during, and post. Yeah. And the most interesting thing is survey has shown that 65% of the organizers who have been surveyed globally basically says that 2023 onwards, so we are in 2024 heading to 2025, I would say 2/3, 65% is 2/3 of them basically say that whenever they plan an event, they will definitely have this hybrid as their strategy, meaning that they will have this hybrid component in whatever that they do. Okay, so I don't think I need to do or I do not need to define what is a virtual or what is a hybrid. But just as a guideline, whatever that we're doing today, this morning is virtual. Yeah, it's pure virtual. I think you guys are very familiar with what virtual is. But the challenge has always been about defining hybrid event. Yeah. It is actually quite simple. Yeah, hybrid is just a combination of these two: in-person, physical, and virtual. Meaning that any event that has these two components can be considered as hybrid. And the other interesting thing about hybrid event is that either component does not have to be live. Yeah. So because the misconception is that when you do a hybrid event, you must do the virtual and the in-person concurrently. Okay, so what I'm saying is that the understanding of a lot of the public perception is that when you do a hybrid event, you run an in-person or a physical event, at the same time you try to stream or live stream some of these speeches or talks or happenings live, either on Zoom, Webex, or a virtual platform, or even Facebook Live, or whatever social media platform that you're using. So yeah, that is one of the strategy, but you can also have offline sort of like videos that can be introduced after the event. So some of the event organizers, what they do is they want to encourage people to attend the in-person or the physical event on site, but they are not having any live sessions. They're going to record some of these sessions. And for those attendees who are not able to attend, they would be able only to see some of the videos or the sessions after the event has ended. Yeah, so it saves time. It allows editing as well on some of the contents. So it gives a better experiences for the audience who does not have to participate during the event and can actually view it as and when they want after the event. Okay, so that's a brief definition of virtual and hybrid. Now, back in 2020, yeah, 4 years ago, so I came up with this triangle. For those of you who have been through some of my sessions back in those days, you would be familiar with this concept of gluable event technology. I'm just going to share it here again so that you can later on maybe link up some of the ideas and points that I'm trying to make. Okay, so at the top of the pyramid or the top of the triangle, you have the standard modern event technology. So these are your normal web applications, mobile applications, the ones that you're very familiar when you go into any events. You have QR codes, yeah. You have live polling, yeah, like Slido, everything that you see in an event that has been there before the pandemic. Then you have the virtual event technology on the left-hand side, the green color triangle. So these are the technology that popped up a lot during the pandemic. Yeah, not just your virtual platforms, but everything from virtual exhibitions, virtual conferences, virtual stages. You have CCTVs tracking all the behaviors in terms of their temperature. Okay? So all of these things, we categorize them under virtual event technology. Then on the right-hand side, the purple color triangle, you have the wearables. These are all the technologies that you use in events that require you to wear them. So it could be your wristbands, it could be your headsets, yeah, your VR headsets, it could be your augmented reality glasses, yeah. So a lot of hardwares come into play that requires you to wear, and the ability of those hardware to do sensing. Yeah, so you have Internet of Things in there. So these are all we call wearable event technologies. So if you use the right combination of all of these technologies, you would be able to get the middle one, which is the gluable event tech. So this is where you're using just the right technology in order to create the best event experiences. So you could basically get the right integration, you'll get the right data from your event, you'll be able to get the right analytics. Yeah, and this also still applicable to a hybrid event today, because you still need to use multiple facets of all of these technologies that are in play. Yeah, so it is still relevant. Now, a year later, during still the heat of the pandemic, we actually did some studies in terms of the technologies that are available within the virtual components or the virtual event space, and we categorize them into these four, I would say, quadrants. Yeah, we call it a quadrant of virtual event tech engagement. So the first quadrant, I think this is something that we are all very familiar with. On your bottom left, this is your standard meetings, webinars, those that you normally participated within an hour, two or three live streams. Yeah, we call this virtual fatigue because a lot of the times you tend to get, I mean, you easily get tired once you are using this technology for a long time. Yeah, so there's not much engagement. Yeah, because it's just maybe a one way, especially webinars, just one way, no interaction. Yeah, and people basically eventually will get bored. On the top left, you would have this technologies with some level of personalization, but very low level of engagement. Yeah, so if you have attended an exhibition virtually, yeah, I mean, you can see a lot of personalization goes into that in terms of the design of the booth, yeah, the design of the stage. But the engagement is still lacking because you are still not able to interact like you would in person. So we would consider it as a low return on investment, ROI, or low return on engagement, ROE. So the third quadrant is an exciting technologies which has a high level of engagement, but very low level of personalization. So this is before the years of AI, yeah, guys. So this is what we call a one-hit wonder technology, where you have chatbots, holograms. But of course, nowadays, these two technologies have improved a lot with the advent of generative AI, etc. So, but those days, yeah, the COVID days, chatbot is not really helping. They're just based on a pre-standard templates of questions and answers. And hologram is something that you are projecting in 3D, but nothing much can be done from that hologram. So this is what we call one-hit wonder. You see it once, you'd be impressed. Second time, you already know what it is all about, right? Now, the final part of the quadrant is what we call purposeful and recurring technologies. So this is some of the things that you would do and combine it with the others that would make your virtual event more interesting and engaged. So it has a high level of personalization and high level of engagement. Pretty sure by having polling, it's like what we did, by having some quizzes, Q&A, all of this will keep you guys at least in front of your screen, at least trying to listen to what the speaker is delivering. Virtual networking, if we've been to some of these conferences or exhibition where they allow you to have a separate session table where you get to open your camera and microphone, and you'll be able to be connected to other delegates, someone that you might not be able to meet in real life. So virtual networking is a very interesting component. And the rest, gamification, when you start putting in points, yeah, redeemable points, you start putting in something that will get the audience to do a quest, yeah, for example, to visit some of these virtual exhibitions, to do some interesting tasks. So this is something that will make the event more interesting. Virtual reality, augmented reality, extended reality, mixed reality, and metaverse is something that I would like to explore in the next few slides. Okay. Now, at this point, if you have any questions that you would like to address, feel free to put in Slido. Okay. So far, nothing much in Slido. I were to look at Webex, also not much. But feel free to just stop me or raise hand, or I mean, I prefer interruptions rather than just a one way interaction. Yeah, because right now when it is one way, I'm not sure whether the message is clear. Yeah, whether you're getting what I'm trying to say. So any kind of response would be good. Any thumbs up, any clapping. Yeah, what else can you do? Let me see. You can do, there's no Korean heart there. The normal heart is there. You can laugh, yeah, yeah. Thumbs up. I don't think there's much uh, in Webex. There's a turtle thingy there, right? I'm not sure what's a turtle thingy. Oh, too slow. Okay. Okay, I hope I don't get that. I'm not too slow, right? Sagaya, you gave me that turtle thing. On fire. Yeah, I like that. Okay, thank you very much. All right, I think I've explained this earlier. So when you are doing virtual sessions or even hybrid, you have to do some of these things in your sessions. Multiple speakers are good actually. So when you have multiple speakers, when you have people on panel sessions, so imagine if I'm right now the only speaker, but if you are able to get maybe another one or two speakers that could challenge, that could present an alternative ideas. So among the speakers, it will be interesting for them to interact, and this would get you guys more engaged and more knowledge rather than just from one speaker. Yeah, and the rest, I think, short presentations. Yeah, this is also true. If you're doing, I'm not sure today, if you're doing a 2 hour or 3 hour session, I mean, both the listeners and also the speaker will get tired. You need a break in between. So normally short presentations, anything less than 30 minutes, but impactful presentations. Ones that you are able to immediately get all of the points. Okay. Now let's look at this. Yeah. Is this the world that we would like to be in? I think we are actually experiencing this already. Yeah. Especially with the launch of Apple Vision Pro. You can see, I mean, not in Malaysia, but in the States, people are wearing all of these virtual reality headsets, and there's walking on the streets, yeah, because they can actually see, yeah, because the previous version of the headsets, normally it is just in the virtual world and you are not able to see the real world. But with the recent Vision Pro, you are actually aware of your surroundings. So I think if you are in the cities where they have adopted this technology, you would be able to see this familiar environment. Yeah. Okay, we're going to talk a bit about all of these R's. Yeah, virtual, augmented, text, extended, and of course, metaverse. Virtual reality, you guys can read it. Um, in simpler word, it's just an alternate reality, something that is created in 3D or 4D. I would call it a new reality. Yeah, it's not your existing reality. So this requires you to go into either wearing a headset, or you can actually look it from the point of view if you're playing like games, right? On your laptops. Yeah, you're actually entering into a new world, a world that is not similar to your existing world. So this is basically what VR is all about. But what we have seen most of the times is VR that comes with headsets, because they want you to be immersed in the experience. Because once you wear it, you are immediately being transported into a new world. Yeah, because you can no longer see your existing world. Okay. So yeah, I think VR could shape a very different um, future in events, travel, and tourism. We can see it in action already in terms of a lot of apps, applications that have been developed to ensure people can experience. For example, in the travel and tourism, if you're afraid to do skydiving, there are a lot of VR apps that can get you to that experience without you really jumping off a plane. Okay, so a lot of creativity will come into place. Let's look at some of the examples in terms of VR, AR, MR, and extended reality. I've explained or shared about Apple Vision Pro. So this is the next generation of virtual reality, and with augmented reality that is being integrated, it is again comes into the mixed reality mode where all of the technologies are being combined into this one gadget called Apple Vision Pro. Have you guys heard about this Meta Ray-Ban? It was, I think, launched and sold in the States about a year ago. You can actually purchase it. I think the price is around 1,500 or 2,000 ringgit. Yeah. So it is a glass that is being produced by Ray-Ban. They collaborated with Facebook, Meta, and they put in a lot of technologies into the hardware where you can actually link it with your phone and you are able to see more things at the corner of your, I would say, eye in terms of the glass. So you'll be able to see a lot of information being overlaid. So this is what we call augmented reality. Yeah. So for example, if you need to navigate to a certain place, maps can be seen with directions being shown to you. Definitely, you can record videos. Yeah, so this is very good for influencers, Instagrammers. Yeah, you can record, I think, about a minute or two clip. So as you walk, the experience is different. So rather than holding a camera, you're actually just recording with your view. Yeah, whatever that you are seeing, that is basically what you're recording. So feel free to just Google and see some of the applications that you can benefit or actually learn from these Meta Ray-Ban glasses. I think they are further improving that, and I think Meta is also producing their own glasses in the near future. Augmented reality application. This one is something that you can use to design your house. Yeah. So for example, if you have an open space, you need to furnish it with some furnitures, and you need ideas. You want to see the output. Yeah. Before even you buy the products, you could actually use the apps. For example, in this case, you're using your tablet, selecting whatever sofa, chairs or tables that you like, and positioning it in your living room so that you'll be able to see whether maybe the color matches the living room style, the environment. So all of this actually helps you to plan and give you a better experiences. Previously, you would not have this opportunity. You would just have to figure out, okay, I think this one would match my living room, right? And then just gonna buy it, and in the end, it would be the right one. So IKEA has this, I believe, and a lot of the furniture companies have now started to incorporate augmented reality into their apps. For those of you who like Pokemon, I think Pokemon Go is the first augmented reality app that has gone viral back in, I think, 8 or 7 years ago. Yeah, and it's still they are still running well until today. Yeah, because people get immersed into catching Pokemons using their phones in the augmented reality environment. Okay, so some interesting applications. Mixed reality, I think you can see in a lot of dramas, movies, where surgeons are trained to do their surgery, yeah, using goggles. Yeah, so a combination of augmented reality and virtual reality causing these applications to be able to develop and use accordingly by some of these industries out there. Okay, let's just enjoy the Apple Vision Pro video here.
Introducing Apple Vision Pro. The era of spatial computing is here. When you put on Apple Vision Pro, you see your world and everything in it. Your favorite apps live right in front of you, but now they're in your space. This is Vision OS, Apple's first ever spatial operating system. It's familiar, yet groundbreaking. You navigate with your eyes. Simply tap to select, flick to scroll, and use your voice to dictate. It's like magic. Apps have dimension, react to light, and cast shadows. Even though these spatial experiences are happening inside Vision Pro, it looks, sounds, and feels like they are physically there. Foundational to Apple Vision Pro is that you're not isolated from other people. When someone else is in the room, you can see them, and they can see you. Because you're not limited by a display, apps live in your space. Your photos can be life-size, or any size, so your living room becomes a gallery. And panoramas wrap around you as if you're right where you took them. Apple Vision Pro is Apple's first ever 3D camera. Now, you can capture photos and videos with remarkable depth and relive a memory as if you're right back in the exact moment.
Hey, Dad!
Experiences on Vision Pro can also expand in 3 dimensions, filling the entirety of your space. Like in the Mindfulness app, where you can create a moment of calm.
All right. So I think for those of you who have actually tried Apple Vision Pro, you would know or you would experience something that is a bit extraordinary as compared to the previous version of VR headsets. I think some of you who have played with Pico, and the experience is different. So a lot of applications can be developed on top of the OS, the Apple Vision OS, and a lot of events right now riding on this, where you are able to do VR concerts, yeah, where you are trying to get the front row seats when the artist is actually conducting their concerts. Now, this is an example on your screen right now on how you could use augmented reality and provide a gamification experience to the hotel guest. Yeah. So as you can see, this is done by Moxie, part of a Marriott group. So what you do is there's an app that definitely you have to download, and you are basically given a task in the app once you check into the hotel. And every task that you complete will earn you certain points that will get you to do more things. Yeah. So the idea is to engage the attendees and see their staycation beyond just ordinary staycation. So it's not just about you going to hotel to spend the night, but you going to hotel and experiencing all of their facilities. So they want you to go and explore the gym, the swimming pools, yeah, the dining experiences. Okay, and then another application that I've seen, I think this was last year in Thailand when they are doing this augmented reality fest, is where they use Instagram filters. Yeah, so I think the generation that we are in right now loves using filters, loves to captures and posts on stories, on IG stories. So they are utilizing this and trying to create a unique experience where you are able to learn more about some of the areas, cities in Thailand without actually going to those specific places. So as you can see in this visual, so this is an example of how you use your filters on IG to maybe experience some of the delicacies, some of the unique things that you might not be able to bring into that event. So can these be considered hybrid? I would say so, because you are actually being on a certain event physically, but you're experiencing the culture virtually, yeah, via augmented reality. See what else is there. Okay, so this is also another thing where you would have to position your camera and then bring it to a certain area, and then you started to sort of like play with the characters. This is where you get to experience the traditional, I would say, dances, yeah, by interacting with all of those instruments, yeah, and then you get to create your own tunes, yeah. So gamification, the ability to use these technologies to create memorable experiences in hybrid mode has gone really crazy in terms of the creativity. It's just a matter of putting it into the right context. So these are some of the interesting statistics that could be helpful in terms of how planners, event planners are seeing this technology. So as you can see, more than, I would say, about 3/4 of event planners surveyed say that augmented reality and VR super important in the future of hybrid events. I think if you've seen some of examples, we can push the limit beyond what you guys have seen. Yeah, in terms of merging these technologies into whatever events that are happening over here. We're going to touch a bit about metaverse after this, but I'm just going to share with you the size of this market. It's huge. Yeah, we have roughly about, as you can see, it's about 64 billion. It's just mind-boggling, right? So in 5 years or 6 years down the road, this technology or metaverse is projected to have a worth of $500 billion by this research company, yes, Statista. And the more interesting thing here is that majority of the users of the metaverse might not be our age, might be some of your age. Yeah, maybe you guys have been exposed to that like 2-3 years ago, but more than half, yeah, about 51% of the users in this metaverse are basically 13 years of age and younger. Interesting. That is roughly the age of my youngest daughter, which is true because she is so into Roblox, she is so into Minecraft, yeah, as opposed to people like me. And the average time, yeah, they will spend is about 2 hours a day, right? And the average age of the metaverse gamers, is roughly around 27, 28 years old. By knowing the statistics, it is very important because once you know the audience of your event, you would be able to know what would be the right way or right technology to engage them. Because imagine if you're delivering a business event or conference that are going to be attended by senior management or directors in companies that are aged above 40 years old, right? And then you're talking about all of these interesting metaverse apps, augmented reality, virtual reality. Do you think they would be engaged or do you think they would be relevant to them? Most probably not. But if you're doing something that is mass, something that is a bit relevant for the Gen Z or the newer generations, right? Then you would start to incorporate all of these technologies that we've been discussing so far. right? So it's important to understand and balance the different type of technologies and also the audience that you're gonna have when you're planning your events. This is a classic example of events on Metaverse. I wouldn't say it's a successful story. At that point in time, it was, but unfortunately, it is no longer available. So it is a classic example where when Metaverse hype was on the rise, and we were again in between pandemic and post-pandemic. So I think this happened about 2 years ago in 2022, when I think during our Merdeka celebration, I'm not sure whether, yeah, we were able to do that. But at that point in time, this company was trying to do a Merdeka celebration, the Merdeka parade, everything in the Metaverse. So they created a Metaverse platform just for the purpose of this Merdeka celebration. So they put in the right songs, they created the right environment. So it happened simultaneously with the parade on the morning of the Merdeka Day, with the Sudirman songs, with all the right avatars in the metaverse. So, and then they were dropping off a lot of these tokens, yeah, the NFTs at that point in time, non-fungible tokens. So they are able to create a lot of traffic. A lot of people basically were in that metaverse. But what happened is they are not able to sustain, meaning it is a one-off, I would say, one-off solution. It is only meant for that particular scenario. And this is where a lot of the metaverses fail. Because when you created a metaverse only for a specific event and you're not able to benefit, you're not able to get the attendees to come back to that metaverse to do more. Yeah. And this is where you see a lot of metaverses simply die off. Yeah. So if right now you're trying to search for Merdekaverse on Google, you might be able to see some of the videos on YouTube, but the website or even the app itself is no longer available. Okay. So I would say this is a classic example of how not to create an event on a metaverse platform. Yeah, because you need to plan properly. Investment is not really small. You would need to have a big investment when you're creating your own metaverse, because a lot of designs, you have to build the models, yeah, you have to put it in 3Ds. You need to have a very high power of servers that require people to be able to attend and interact. So investment is high, but if the return is low, you will not be able to sustain. So technology is there, just have to be used for the right purpose. Okay. Now let's go back to Slido. I'm just going to see whether I have some questions that I need to answer over there. Okay, there are a few here. What is the challenge of organizing a hybrid event? I'm gonna answer that immediately. The challenge is always about understanding the need of your attendees. Yeah. Why would you need a hybrid event? Simple question. Yeah. Because not every event requires the virtual component, and not every event requires delegate to interact virtually using AR or VR. But there are some cases where you need that. And this is where the part where I mentioned earlier, inclusivity, sustainability comes into play. Yeah, because if you are trying to get more people to attend, yeah, and then if you are basically doing it in a remote place where a lot of accessibility will be a challenge, it is much better to open up a channel for them to participate remotely. This is where hybrid event makes more sense. But the challenge is now you're going to have more teams and more effort to plan. Imagine you're organizing a physical or in-person event. It's just one item that you have to think and plan properly. Now you have the virtual component. You would need a separate team to be able to handle that. So your cost is going to double up. Your effort is going to be doubling up. Yeah, more work and more careful planning needs to happen, which is why it's not as easy as just open a live stream and that's it. Because by doing that, you're not engaging the virtual attendees. You're not really caring about them. You're just focusing on your in-person event. You're just giving them a channel to participate or even listening in, and that's it. So it's very, very interesting and very challenging to really have a successful hybrid event. In fact, in our case, in our company, throughout the year in 2024, the only hybrid event that I can remember happening is only one. Out of, I would say this year we've done close to 300 over events in terms of the platform. But out of that, I can only recall one hybrid event that happened, meaning that it's not easy to organize, and it is not also easy to get the buy-in of doing a hybrid event. But once you're able to do it successfully, it's going to be fantastic. Because you already know the components, you already know why they need to be there, because your business model is going to increase as well. You're going to be able to charge separately for them, and you're going to get a wider audience because the ticket is going to be cheaper. They don't have to travel. They don't have to go for to find accommodation. They don't have to think about traveling. They just pay slightly cheaper in order to participate, in order to attend, and they're going to get all of the contents. So you're going to be able to attract more people. You're going to get more income. So in other words, your revenue is definitely going to be increased as well. Okay, so a lot of components in terms of organizing hybrid events, but keep in mind on these challenges. Okay, less knowledge. I'm not sure, that's not a question, yeah, right? How does polling can increase virtual attendance? Polling does not increase attendance. Polling only increase engagement. I think I've mentioned earlier, even in the quadrant, I'm showing in terms of how you're going to engage people. So you have to include polling and Q&A, which is what we are doing right now, right? But it doesn't increase attendance, because I'm not gonna basically sell my virtual event by saying, guys, please come or please attend my event because it's gonna have polling, right? So don't confuse that concept. Attendance is not gonna be increased. Attendance is all based on marketing. Yeah, how are you gonna market? For example, this event, how are you gonna tell people that this is a very important event for you to attend? It's all about the benefits. Yeah, but you cannot be telling, because you attend this event, the speaker is going to do polling. How attractive is that's going to be? I don't think it's going to be attractive. But once you have people to attend, you need them to be engaged. This is where you do polling. What are the key takeaways from your hybrid event that you can apply to future events? Number one is, I would say, when you do a hybrid event, understand your attendee segmentation. Same point with the first question that I answered earlier. Yeah. Attendee segmentation is super important, meaning that if you really want to open up, for example, if it is conference and you already know that the conference is going to be held in this hotel, and this hotel can only accommodate about 200 packs, yeah, but you're going to get more demand, yeah. People are saying that I want to attend, but ticket has been sold out. Now open up a separate virtual portion where you are able to get people to attend virtually, right? So understanding your segment is super important. Number two, understand your technology capabilities. Yeah, because sometimes not all event organizers have that technology capabilities. Because to do that virtual part, right, it's not just about having the right platform, but also having the right skill sets to do that. I mean, it's not as simple as what we are doing today, because with today, I'm just using my iPad and laptop to present to you. But in actual conference setting where the speaker is actually speaking on stage, yeah, you need the right camera angle, you need the right sound system to be projected to your audience on Zoom, on Webex, or any other virtual platform. So you need to know your technology capabilities in handling those scenarios. Else, plus the internet connection as well. Okay, you do everything nice, suddenly at the hotel you realize that this hotel can only give me up to, I do not know, 20 meg or 30 meg line. Or maybe it is done at the basement or ground, wherever the hall is, and the connection is very slow. So everything is perfect, but then you can't actually send out your live session. So it will create disappointment once people have bought tickets to your hybrid event. So these are all the things that we have to understand before we even decide I want to do hybrid event in the future. Okay. Do I still recommend doing hybrid event? As I mentioned, understand your goals. Yeah, I'm not saying every event out there must be hybrid, because sometimes it is just impossible to do hybrid event. As an event planner, I think when you do, I mean, most of you are event doing your degree, diploma events. I think it's all about at the very beginning when you are planning, right? Which is why the statistics have shown earlier. Yeah, it's about 2/3 of event organizers post-COVID have this strategy of having hybrid in mind, but doesn't mean they're going to do hybrid event. Okay, meaning they have it at the back of their mind, but they will always assess, do I need to have that component, or for this event it is too small, the budget is not there, the technology capabilities are not there, I don't think we can market it, I don't think we have the right resources, let's do it maybe at a bigger scale later on. Yeah, so you have to balance and understand the pros and cons. Okay. The latest question here, let's see. How can you measure the ROI of a hybrid event considering both tangible and intangible event, benefits? Good question. We're going to look into this ROI later on, especially after I've covered the sustainability and inclusivity portion. But right now, what I can say is everything should be measurable. It's not just hybrid event. Whenever you do even in-person event or just a virtual event, there are goals. Yeah, so there are many goals, right? In terms of satisfaction, in terms of your target audience, target participation, in terms of your dollar and cents, your tickets collections, your revenue, your speaker happiness, your exhibitor expectations. So all of these key performance indicators, KPIs, your goals need to be measured in order for you to understand your return on investment. It's not as simple as I put $1 here, will I get $2 out of this? There's so many other factors. So whatever that you've been doing or learning for event, it applies to your hybrid event as well. So there are tangible, correct. There are also intangible benefits for events. Yeah, so just understand the goals of whatever that you are doing. The goals, I mean, every goal must be measurable, right? I think you guys know that, the SMART, smart way of creating goals. It has to be measurable. And anything that involves money, every dollar that you put in, you might want to see what is the outcome out of that dollar. So that is the return on investment. Okay. All right. Keep the questions coming in. I'm gonna take that later once I move on or finish the next part. But let's do the next quiz here. Let's see. Okay. I just want to understand from this audience of, now we have about, wow, 250 people, yeah? What's your go-to social media platform? Because majority of your students, I can see that 90% earlier saying that you are from UUM. So I would say that your range of age should be between 18 to 22 or 23, yeah? Between that range. Okay, so we still at the early stage because to see at least half of you, if you are able to just click. What is your go-to? Go-to is basically your preferred social media platform. So for example, if you want to know about something, you just go there. If you want to post something, you just go there. If you want to comment something, you just go there. The first thing that you would open. Yeah, that's your go-to. I know that all of us have all of this. Yeah, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, Facebook, Snapchat, maybe not lah. Yeah, for me, no. But the rest I have. 46. So it seems like Instagram is still the go-to stockmat platform for you guys. Baru 49, 50. Let's try to get it to at least 70. I think just to share with you that my eldest daughter, that she is 16 years old, so she is now in Form 4. So I always try to understand the behavior of this new generation and the way they interact. For example, in my case, my go-to platform to do messaging has always been WhatsApp, yeah, message. But for her, it's Instagram chat. It's a bit weird, right? Because for me, I don't use Instagram chat that much. But for her, it's always about delivering message with her friends, with the groups, or even teachers on Instagram. So it seems like, yeah, I mean, I can understand how attractive Instagram could be for that generation, maybe for your generation as well. You can see that Instagram is the most preferred, I would say, go-to social media platform for the average attendees here. You can see some Snapchat there. LinkedIn kosong, eh? Maybe that one is more for professional setting, yeah. Ada lah tu LinkedIn, yes. Maybe for us, kan, for the faculty member, maybe we are on LinkedIn. Okay, you want to see some surprising stats? I'm just gonna share with you. Yeah, so I asked ChatGPT, kan, what are the most used social media by the new generation according to stats 2024? Maybe it is too small, we can just zoom in a bit there. But 96% of Gen Z users are actually using YouTube. Instagram is 91%. Surprising, eh? And you don't see that translated into the poll. So it could be that YouTubers or YouTube in other countries, maybe in the States, maybe in the Europe, then they are more into YouTube. Because in our results earlier, I think Instagram, TikTok, and then baru YouTube. Right. Yeah, 1, 2, 3. That's how we see. So normally when I do polling like this, I always like to compare back with the overall worldview, kan? And right now it's quite easy, kan? Anything kita just fit and ask ChatGPT je. Okay, last question. For this part lah. Now it's just a matter of you keying into the text box. What games do you like to play? If you're a gamer, I mean, it doesn't matter. Just the name of the games. Whether it's a PC game, mobile game, VR game, AR game, any game. I just want to understand. Like I say lah, my daughters, they like Roblox, Minecraft. So in your case, because this is the word cloud. So the bigger the word is, meaning the more attractive or more of you are actually playing that games. Sudoku. I like that. Sudoku is good. No play game, okay, understand. Honor of Kings. Just think that this could be an idea for me to actually explore some of these games that I might not have tried lah. I mean, PUBG, I know I've tried, but doesn't mean I like it. Okay. No play game or no play. Not many of you play games as well. Yeah. Uno card. Yeah, that's good. Yeah, it could be the physical games as well, right? Doesn't have to be anything on that on your mobile. Genshin. What is MLBB? Anyone knows? Sorry, guys. Maybe someone just, you can type more than one, yeah? Maybe the MLBB, maybe you put in the full name. Mobile Legend, is it? Mobile Legend lah kot. Yeah, Mobile Legend, I think. Roblox. Minecraft ada? Or is it Minecraft is too for small kids? I also don't know. Mobile Legend Bang Bang. Yeah. Roblox ada, good. Sandbox. I don't think you guys do Sandbox. So Roblox, I can see that. Seems okay, good. Thank you. Shopee game. I like that. Lazada game tak nak? Lazada game. Shopee game. Yeah, I think some of these e-commerce platform, their games are interesting. You do that, you get points. You get all of these coins lah, whatever it is, kan. Then you can redeem lah, you get vouchers lah. So again, engagement. You can see how gamifications drive engagement. Cooking game here. So I think for the faculty members, I think by understanding the nature of games that students are playing, think about how this can be incorporated into event, into the learning environment as well. Because guess what? Metaverses are all about games. Yeah. So this is the next part that I'm going to cover, which is how metaverse can drive engagement and can survive because it focuses a lot on games. Yeah? So events that are basically gamified through games can sustain in the metaverse world. Okay, so keep on putting it. I'm not going to stop there. I'm just going to go back to the slides. So this is why we say games thrive on metaverse because, for example, if you go into Roblox, you always go into Roblox. If you go into Sandbox, you always go into Sandbox because you meet more people. You know what you do there. You know why you keep on going in, checking in regularly, daily, right? You get more points. You get many things out of that. So this is why people are stuck to the game. It's easier to adopt, yeah, for that generation definitely because they are so used to the keypads, yeah, moving, or even their iPads. The controls are basically something that is easy for the generation. And the top 10 metaverse platforms, semua, all of them have games at the core. Yeah. So if you see Sandbox, Decentraland, Roblox, Axie Infinity. Yeah. So these are some of the metaverses with gamifications of games at the core. Meaning that you go in because you want to play games, you want to meet people, you want to do things. Yeah, you want to evolve certain characters, you want to buy certain clothes, or you want to buy certain attires, yeah, using their coins, etc. So you go there to interact, you go there to learn things. Yeah. So even financial institution, for example, banks, they are buying a land inside Decentraland. Because Sandbox and Decentraland, the way it works is that every plot of land in this virtual world, you can buy. And it's not cheap. So once you buy, you can develop games on top of that. And people can go into your place and start interacting, engage. So for example, if HSBC, you just Google HSBC, I think buying plots of lands in Decentraland for how many millions? Yeah, because they want to do financial literacy, financial education via games. So people go to Decentraland Sandbox while playing game. If they want to learn more about how do I manage money, how do I invest money, they go into this HSBC land where they get to play games that can increase their financial literacy. Amazing. So if you think about that, I think one of the things that I spoke to with UKM, and I think this was again 2 years ago. UKM has a unit that is trying. UKM is University Kebangsaan Malaysia. They were trying to build their own metaverse. And one of the advice that I gave them is do not build your own metaverse. Build something about UKM within this metaverse because they already have users. So imagine if UUM or UKM or UniKL or whatever universities in Malaysia, you guys go into Roblox or Decentraland or Sandbox. You guys bought a land or bought a small area, yeah, and then you build something related to whatever it is that is core to your universities. And then people will come and visit, people will know more, you are able to market the universities more. Yeah, it's very interesting. You can do your events there. So this is again virtual events happening on an existing metaverse where marketing is going to be easier because you have the traffic. The users of the metaverse will know about this already. You're not getting someone else to enter your new metaverse platform. I think you get what I'm trying to say again. So this is why games thrive on metaverse. Okay, so new era of events via metaverse. So this is where you combine both the virtual and the physical or in-person aspect of it. Look at the experiences as a whole. New job opportunities. Do you know that some metaverse actually allows you to do virtual jobs and you earn money from being in that metaverse? It's very interesting. Yeah, you can trade stuff. Yeah, so commerce will happen in metaverse, personalized interaction, NFT, non-fungible tokens, utility. So this is something interesting. I'm not going to focus too much on NFT. You guys can Google it because it's going to take a long session for me to explain what NFT is all about. But at the end of the day, we want to focus on interaction, engagement, social inclusion, and of course, sustainability. Right? Okay, just enjoy another video. So what you guys have just seen is actually a concert done in the augmented reality mode. So this was performed by Gorillaz, yeah, back in 2022, December, in New York Times Square. Yeah. So imagine you're not there. I mean, the performer is not there, but it requires you to be there. So the event attendees basically must gather at New York Times Square, and they have to use the app, and they have to actually hold the phone, and because the only way you can recognize that you are in Times Square is that you need to ensure the buildings are basically in Times Square. So once you do that, then the character or the avatar will appear, and you can see, and the songs was basically performed at that point in time. Of course, you don't see the character in the actual world lah. Again, it's in the alternate reality. So the augmentation or the augmented reality comes in that sense. So they did it twice, once in New York Times Square, and the other one in London. I think it was in Piccadilly Square. But it's creative, right? So you're gathering people, but nobody's actually performing, but you can only see it through your mobile phone. Okay? So there are many ways to use technology and combine that with an existing experiences where you normally experience concerts in 1 week. And there you have it, something hybrid. Okay, good. I want to touch a bit on AI now, because I know without mentioning about AI, it's going to be that there'll be an injustice, because nowadays everybody is talking about AI. In fact, yesterday when I was meeting with a friend of mine who is non-tech savvy, yeah, so he was asking me, what is AI about? At the end of the day, artificial intelligence. Everything is AI nowadays. Even she was telling me that even periuk nasi pun, yeah, the rice cooker pun ada periuk nasi AI. Apa benda yang what is the AI about rice cooker? Because it is such a buzzword that everybody is just plugging in AI to everything. AI events. Yeah, you're gonna hear about that a lot. Yeah, so I think it is good that I'm gonna touch this a bit before I move on into the last part, which is the sustainability and inclusivity. Okay, AI and data driven. So the images that you are seeing are not real. These are all generated using Mid-Journey. Okay, so AI has come a long way. Yeah, artificial intelligence, AI stands for artificial intelligence versus human intelligence. Yeah, AI has been there for a long time. Everything that we teach the computer, previously they can just learn bits 1 and 0, 1 and 0, and then whatever that we program into a computer, they'll just follow. But because of the supercomputing power, yeah, they are able to process more information. They are able to learn patterns, yeah, pattern recognition, which is why what you're seeing right now, they're able to even interact like human in ChatGPT. They're able to interact like human. When you're asking them to do something, they are able to respond just like a human. So AI has gone a long way with the advancement of computers, right? And then we are feeding in more information on the web, millions, gazillions of data that they are able to process that our mind cannot process. Yeah, it is a bit scary, but if you understand what it is all about, you are able to appreciate the world that we are living in right now. Okay, so that's AI. And think about AI as improving your for our productivity, whether it is in the work, studies, or even events. Yeah, so productivity must be redefined in our world. Yeah, it is not about. I actually don't quite like when I always receive this question. I might receive this question later on in Slido that how AI is going to take over our job. Because when you have that mentality, when you have that questions within you, meaning we still don't understand what AI is all about. But if we know that AI can improve whatever that we do, so that we can do better things in life, that's where we start to appreciate AI, and that's where we're going to be better in this world. Yeah. So understand it is all about redefining productivity with AI. In fact, I would say the ideas that help me to do presentations today. I'm not saying about slides. In fact, AI can help me to generate slides as well. It's just that I prefer to do slides on my own rather than having AI. But the ideas, the statistics, the research that gone into this in terms of the numbers are all being done by AI. Yeah, because they can do things much faster than me reading one by one, summarizing. Yeah, I think a lot of us here are actually benefiting from AI already. Now, so how does productivity redefine with AI? Again, ChatGPT, Gemini, Copilot is all about conversational, being it like human-like. So you mentioned about events chatbot. Previously, chatbot is very static. It's all about if the person asks this question, the template says you must answer this way. But nowadays, chatbot with AI has changed. Yeah. Imagine if events can use ChatGPT, meaning you train your event information with ChatGPT and then embed it in the app or in whatever it is that you use to communicate your events material, let it run. So imagine how different it would be. Multilingual. I think 2 weeks back I was in Korea. So this guy basically, again, remember I mentioned about the Meta Ray-Ban, but they actually produce something like that. So the guy is basically talking to me in Korean language, and I'm able to see the live translation by using the specs on the corner of my eye. So I'm able to understand what he's saying. Live translation, less than a millisecond in terms of the translation happening. Yeah. So AI is able to help us in our daily life, especially in terms when we're facing this language challenges in other countries. Easy access nowadays is super easy. We have free versions of everything, guys. Yeah, so I'm pretty sure most of you are using. I do not need to use a poll. I believe 80 to 90% of you are still on ChatGPT free version, and then you would be looking at Gemini, bit Copilot. Yeah, if you're using on Microsoft devices, um, Google, maybe Gemini, but again, ChatGPT is the most preferred, I would say, right now in terms of generative AI, Gen AI. Instant results, feedback, increased efficiency. This is all about productivity. So you can't run away from AI in events, whether it is hybrid, physical, or virtual. All right. Okay, I'm gonna skip this, but this is interesting because I stumbled upon this place. I haven't been there, uh, but this is a place called Sala de Uyuni in Bolivia. So I use an app called Expedia, and I asked Expedia to simply plan for me a trip to this place. Yeah. So ChatGPT can help you with that. Previously, you need to do a lot of research, even though internet is there. But within a milliseconds, I can get my 3 or 4 day itinerary, and it can help me with my booking, etc. So a lot of things, if you embed it in the right way. So imagine if this is an event app, yeah, the event might take place in, say, India or China or in Japan or any place that you haven't been, but it can help you to plan your trip to get to the event and what are the things that you need to prepare beforehand. Yeah. So embedding AI in your event help delegates and also help the event planners. Now with AI, you can't run away from data. They are correlated because data collection in events will allow AI to function better. how does AI learn? Because of data. Without data, they can't learn. Yeah, imagine ChatGPT and Gemini having the wealth of World Wide Web. Yeah, like I said, trillion, gazillions of data that they are able to process and learn. Same goes with event. So you need to understand what are the data points in events. Yeah, so I'm just sharing with you some of the data points in events, whether it is virtual, in person, or hybrid. You need to understand that events are being collected and the data are moved throughout from pre, during to post. Imagine the nature of applications or technologies that you are using to organize an event. For example, in this case, Webex. You have a registration, you need to get people to actually come to the event, can? You need to understand who they are. So you collect your data and then you need to spread the link. And then you need to understand how are they participating in this event. So I have my Slido. My Slido is going to give me another results later on. Yeah, meaning the overall participation, engagement, how many people ask questions, how do I respond, how does a poll test me? So all of these things are allowing organizers to understand your behavior. Yeah, so that we can further improve and we can deliver better event experiences in the future. Okay, so I don't have to explain every single item here, but sufficient for you to understand everything that you do, the data are being moved, and you need to understand and able to collect, and in any ways that you are able to use AI to further improve this, the efficiency or the productivity of your people, then feel free to integrate that into your event flow. Of course, with data, you're able to get dashboards. Okay, so imagine if you are able to see all of this, because raw data means nothing, guys. Because when you're collecting data and then the next thing you get is a tabulation of data in Excel sheet. What does it mean, right? So you need something to help you with that. This is where AI will come in handy. So right now, AI, you can fed your raw data and simply say that, okay, please help me summarize this data into beautiful charts. It can be pie chart, it can be bar chart, whatever it is. And then AI would do that thing for you, meaning it will try to understand the raw data and then come up with the right responses or the right analysis for you. Okay. So data turns into insights. Yeah. So you would be able to know your sentiment analysis for events. You would be able to understand who they are, where they are from, how they are receiving in terms of um, so as you can see from moving up the pyramid here, from data turns into information, insight, and action. It's always like that in anything that we do. So raw data is just 101010. It means nothing. Yeah, but once you turn it into information, you are able to get a better insights. From insights, you are able to take action. Yeah, insights enable you to do more things, enable you to better yourself. So all of this are interrelated between AI and data. More examples of dashboards, statistics. Yeah, I'm not sure if you guys have had experience with Google Analytics. So if you're running a website, yeah, for example, like one day you have your own company or you have your own business, you're going to do a website. Your websites normally will be integrated with Google Analytics, because you need to know who actually come to your website, where are they from, how often do they come, what is your traffic. So all of this data is super important, and Google Analytics will give you this sort of like dashboard so that you have a better understanding who to target, yeah, what needs to be improved. Yeah. Okay. Now let's get back to Slido and see if I have questions over there. Okay, how do hybrid and virtual event formats contribute to sustainability objectives of event organizers? I cannot answer this yet because I'm going to touch it after this. data privacy and when handling information in a hybrid event, especially using virtual platforms? Okay, good question about data privacy. I'm just going to touch it a bit. Super important, not just hybrid, not just virtual, any event, simple as that. Because you are revealing something to the organizer, right? Especially your details lah. It could be not beyond your name and email. Sometimes registration form you are required to fill in some information. So normally all of this data at the bottom of the registration form there is a consent. And normally the terms and conditions will state that once you submit, you are consenting, meaning you allow your data to be processed by and owned by this organizer. You are letting go of that rights. Yeah, meaning your data, you agree, you submit. If you don't agree, you don't submit. Simple as that. So sometimes in a way it's a bit of forced. Okay. So how can you protect? It's as simple as understanding the rights, meaning that once you know you click that, you are letting go, you're waiving your rights. And if you feel that it is only for that event, you have to make it clear to the event organizers. You might need to write into them that I'm just allowing you to process and manage my data for this event, but not any other events or not to any other organizers in the future. Okay, and then once the event ended, you can also tell the organizers to just remove all of my particulars from the system or from whatever data storage that they are having. Yeah, so it's simple as understanding your rights and understanding the data that you are revealing. Now, the other parts of data where it involves your responses, your duration, your engagement. Again, when you are, for example, you're using this platform called Webex, right? And I'm using Slido on the side. Where does the data go? Of course, it is stored with this platform organizers, but who own those data? There is not much of privacy in terms of those data because you're not revealing much about your personal data, but rather than your responses. For example, these questions. Right? Is this your data? No, it is not. It is just your question that you post, and whatever that is being populated in terms of the dashboard, the data is not considered in a way yours. Yeah, because it is just the way you're using the software. Same goes with the polling earlier. And I do the polling, you give the answers, right? Okay, this much, this much, this much. So who owns that? The results at the end of the day, since I'm the user, I am entitled to have that report, but it will still be stored in Slido. Can Slido use that data and reveal it to other people? No, they cannot. Right. So this is where you understand your rights when you are signing up with those software providers, and in this case, virtual platforms. Okay. So first, understand your rights. We just need to know what is privacy or what is our personal data. What is it that we want to reveal? What is it that we do not want to reveal? And then be aware when you are submitting any kind of registration or signing up to any portal scan, because they will ask unnecessary things, especially with your IC number and date of birth, right? Those kind of things. Of course, government agencies is a different story. For them, PDPA does not apply. So for example, if you're signing up for JPJ punya app owned by our government and they are asking a lot of things, IC number lah, car plate number lah, whatever it is, that one you cannot lah. Say, I do not want to give this data because this is my personal data. Then you won't be able to use or they are not able to process this data at all. So for government agencies, PDPA does not apply to them, meaning they can collect and process your personal data. Okay. Best practices for post-event follow-up evaluation, including surveys, feedback forms, and analytics. Best practices. Keep it short. Yeah, keep it short. Majority of the feedback that I've seen is a long form. Yeah, normally the next, I mean, the first page is 5 questions, next 5 questions again, ada lagi 5 next, and by the end of it, halfway I just close the form and you don't get the feedback. The best survey is immediately, yeah, before people leave the session. So sebenarnya kalau nak dapatkan feedback for this session, before everyone terminate the session, immediately ask them to guys, please fill up the survey quickly, kan? And then maybe just ask 5 main questions. The best is make it something that they can choose rather than open-ended. Open-ended will take time, guys. If you ask, please describe. Wah, bila ada perkataan describe je, people will start to, I can't think of anything lah, then they will just do. But if you just give rating, 1 to 5, item 1, item 2, item 3, item 4, and the 5th one is something that is open-ended, but it's optional. This is to cater the extremes. When I say the extreme, is simple. Normally, people will give feedback yang dia akan type ni, open text ni, is when they are very, very disappointed or not unhappy or very, very happy with the event. For example, if you like, oh, this speaker is super today. Suka betul Yusno ni. Kan? Cerita dia best, teknologi dia best, kan? So dia pun tulis lah, saya suka, I love this speaker so much. Please invite him next time to UUM. Kan? Please give him a VIP treatment. Just kidding. Kan? So orang-orang tu, those are the people who will kick in. Or the other one is the one that really don't like Yusno. Kan? Apalah dia ni cakap, tak ada ni, teruk sangat. Jangan, please do not invite him again. I never want to see his face ever again. So those are the two extremes. In any post-event follow-up and evaluation. But don't have too many of that. One, and then the rest is rating. That's the best. Okay. Another tactic is of course those surveys feedback with incentives. Normally kalau students, you do this, kita count as your attendance, kan? Ataupun in some events, you do this, you get a free gift. Ataupun you do this, entry to winning a lucky draw. So all of that incentive will come in order to drive more responses. So those are the two things that I've seen happening lah, to get and drive better post-event follow-up. Oh, ada juga one more. When it's still incentive lah, meaning that you do that, you get better vouchers, or you get for future events, you get some discounts. Okay? Okay, thank you for the questions. Now let's go to the poll quickly. Okay, yes and no question je. Do you think organizing a virtual or hybrid event contribute towards sustainability? Bila dah hujung ni, the participation normally will go very low. Awal-awal tadi you can see kan, about 80 people, 100 people. Dah dekat-dekat pukul 11 ni, you can see lah, nak sampai 50 orang klik pun susah. It's just a yes or no. Don't worry guys, not many questions left. My session is going to end very soon. I'm going to take a lot of questions if there is any after that. Okay, we're going to hit. I just want to understand, do you guys think virtual or hybrid event contribute to sustainability? The reason why I stay a bit longer here, I want to see, ada tak orang yang jawab no? Oh, ada jawab no, 2%. I wish I can detect who are these people so I can ask, why do you think it does not contribute to sustainability? But I would say, okay lah, kita tukar jawapan. 100%, okay, awesome. So all of you believe that when you are doing something like this, virtual, or you're doing at least hybrid, combination of both, what you're doing actually contributes a bit towards sustainability. It is true. I'm going to prove it later. You can see it in terms of numbers. Okay, so thank you guys. Dah dapat 50 tu. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Ada tak lagi soalan? Okay, is it this one? Okay. And now is the time for you to type. Just give me lah one sentence ke a few words. How do you think? Tadi semua jawab yes. 50 orang say yes. Hybrid virtual will contribute towards sustainability. How? Tell me how. Tell me how. At least now, I need you guys to do a bit of a thinking. Actually, you're helping me as well. Because I haven't talked about this. At least you guys give me some examples. Just tell me, how can an event like this, think about this, contribute towards sustainability? Waste reduction. Bagus, thank you very much, Jati. Maksudnya, ni kan siapa-siapa yang jawab ni ada nama kan, semua dapat point extra untuk kelas ni. So, semua akan jawab. Atau semua guna nama betul. Ataupun guna dia punya staff. Apa tu, student ID. Waste reduction, reduce carbon footprint, reduce waste is a new trend, eliminate travel emission, increase attendance, flexible resource allocation, lowering resource use, lower energy consumption, reduce waste, and it can be arranged easier, physical waste, save time, eco-friendly, reduce waste, broader accessibility, reduce waste, increase visitor. Very good. Semua jawab betul ni. Bagus lah. I don't think I need to cover this anymore. You guys know this already. Ni mesti Dr. Asmah ni buat kerja ni. Dia dah cerita pasal the green events kan. Save time and money. Okay. No negative impact to the environment. Okay, I'm going to hold on to that yet. No negative event. Negative impact. Dia less negative impact. Ada impact. Dia bukan no negative impact. No ni macam zero kan. Because guess what? Doing a virtual or hybrid event akan ada carbon footprint juga guys. Bukannya zero carbon footprint Kita akan tengok kejap lagi. Let's see apa lagi. More attendees join. Betul. Reduce waste, reduce travel, cost and waste reduction. Betul. Nampak gaya ni semua dekat macam ni, saya tak dapat lah pergi UM. Kalau saya pergi UM nanti ada carbon footprint. Thank you very much. So you guys are very participative. Reduction in material use for staging and setup. Habislah, Dok. Kalau saya pergi sana nanti dia nak kena buat stage. Kan, nak kena order makan. Nak kena cari tempat tidur. Semua ni carbon footprint. Longer lifespan of event content. Correct. Awesome. Thank you very much, guys. You guys have actually helped me on this session for sustainability impact of virtual and hybrid events. Semua ni betul. Ada satu je lah yang aku betulkan tadi kan. No negative impact. Actually ada. Umumnya you are reducing or you making it less. The negative impact is lesser. You're using virtual or hybrid event. Ada lagi tak? Kalau tak ada, I'm just going to move on to the slide. So again, thank you very much. Oh, nampak tu dia tulis waste 8 orang, time 5, energy 4, reduction 3. So what you're seeing right now is AI doing things, yeah. Even in Slido, dia dah boleh recognize some of the most common words within this answers that you guys giving. So kalau saya baca semua pun tak apa, saya tahu majority of you say ada 8 orang cakap it's all about reducing waste. It's all about saving time. It's all about reducing energy. And a lot of things about reduction, reducing carbon footprint, etc. So there are AI coming out. Cost pun ada kat situ. Now cost dah naik dah. Can reduce cost. Okay. So you can actually see AI is being implemented in the answers that you're giving. Okay, let's go back to slides. Incorporate sustainability elements. Everything that you have said earlier, semua dah ada kat sini. So maksudnya you guys are very well informed. We are all about reducing carbon footprint. Yeah. So the fact that I'm here at my house, at my desk, I don't even need to go out. I don't even need to fly or even take train or even drive to UUM has reduced the carbon emission, lower the carbon emission. Yeah. So it is actually a good move. Yeah, I don't have to waste a lot of time, tak payah waste. Yeah. Printed material, betul. Sometimes kat sana nanti maybe nak kena bagi Encik Yusno, ni lah all of the UUM punya materials dalam bag. Kan? Nak bagilah, tengoklah apa kan. F&B tak payah nak order kan. Reducing waste. Sometimes tak tahu, order untuk 200 orang kan. Yang datangnya 100 orang. Yang 100 waste. Okay, disposable items in physical events. So this could be disposable items. It could be, for example, if you're doing a conference, if you're doing an exhibition, you need to construct the booth. A lot of items that needs to be disposed. Yeah, and if they are not recyclable, habis. They are going to landfills. So you're increasing the carbon footprint. So whatever that we're doing today, sebenarnya we have to acknowledge in terms of the effort in reducing carbon footprint. And hosting fewer large events can conserve energy use. Betul. You buat dekat venue, katakan buat dekat UUM, kena buka aircon, kan kena buka lampu, kan berapa lama, as opposed to what we're doing today. Then you don't have to think about all of that. Now, statistics have shown. Ni statistik bukan saya cakap, sedap-sedap. So virtual event can reduce carbon emission, carbon footprint up to 94% and the energy used by 90% reduction. But it doesn't say 100%. So this is why I say tadi, kita kena perbetulkan bukan no negative impact. Ada some negative impact, meaning that you're still living a 6% carbon footprint. You still use about 10% energy from today's session. Kenapa? As you can see, I'm plugging in my laptop. You guys kita ada berapa orang? Ada 2 kan? Sorry, we have about 262 participants, meaning that there are roughly, if you are not sharing laptops, if each one of you are all turning on their laptops, we have roughly about 262 laptops or mobile devices turning on that requires to be powered, meaning kena ada energy. So that energy that you are using is still emitting carbon emission, but it is not as much as the energy that you put in when you're doing it in the hall. That one is much more. Okay, so of course you guys know this carbon calculator. I don't need to do that. But what I'm going to show you is how to calculate our carbon footprint for this virtual event. Okay, so this is what we're going to do together. Okay, last exercise here. What we're going to do together is how to calculate the carbon footprint of our event. Okay, there is a standard. Bukannya tak ada standard. Kita dah ada standard. It is not produced by me. It is not produced. But what has happened is that the past 2-3 years, we have a committee. It's a global community that came up with this campaign called Net Zero Carbon Events. You boleh Google netzerocarbonevents.org. It's based in Europe. So they've come up with this document on how to measure carbon footprint for every aspect of event. But today, kita just nak focus on virtual events. Yeah, so I'm going to go back to this. I'm just going to show you the document. So this is the document. Okay. Ada banyak muka surat ni, ada beratus-ratus muka surat. Sorry, ada 93 pages. But on the page 62, okay, dia ada explain kat sini. Okay. How do you calculate? Dia punya formula dekat atas ni. Virtual conference. But there is a direct emission. We call it a computer emission. All of us are emitting some sort of like carbon footprint. Formula dia, baca je dulu. Don't be afraid of looking at the formula. Dia tengok number of attendees. For example, kita ada roughly today about 250, 260 attendees. You times the life cycle emission of a computer. This one kita ada standard numbers. Life cycle emission of computer, tak silap is about berapa. Nanti saya tunjuk lagi. And then kita times the duration of conference. So let's say conference kita ataupun kita punya session ni is about 2 hours, 3 hours. Kita ambil 2.5 lah 2.5. Kita times 365. Kita times average daily hours of computer use. Yang ni pun kita ada formula. Daily hours of computer use, I think about 2 or 3 hours. And then you'll be able to find the total number of carbon emission. Give you an example, bawah ni dia dah tunjuk. Contohnya lah, if ada 10 orang attendees, meeting 1 jam, life cycle emission of computer tu is standard 340 kg of carbon emission. Average service life of computer is about 4 years. Average daily use of a computer, kita assume ramai-ramai orang dalam kita ni, kita guna komputer maybe 2 jam sehari je. So you do it in that formula, tadi saya tunjuk tu. Number of attendees time life cycle times duration of conference divided by service of life times 365 times average daily hours of computer use. Then you'll get the number of carbon emission. Okay. Now let's look at this document. Okay, so macam ni lah. Computer emission. So I'm just gonna change it a bit. Besarkan sikit so that kita boleh buat sama-sama. Kalau you guys nak calculate together with me pun boleh. Okay. So let's say today kita ada 250. Duration of meeting kita ada 2.5. Life cycle emission 340. Average service life 4 years. Yang dua ni fix Average daily use pun sama. 3 hours. So these 3 items ni are fixed. Yang kita ubah hanya 250 and 2.5. So kita ubah dekat sini 250 times 340 times 2.5 divide by 4, 365 times 3. Yang boleh calculator sekejap Okay, tak payah. Okay, kita dah bagi jawapan. Dia adalah 48.52 8.52 kilogram of carbon emission for this session. Banyak ke tak? Is it a lot? 48.52? That's a question that we need to ask. So number one is we now can see that whatever that we are doing today, we are emitting roughly about 50 kilogram of carbon emission. Okay, we are emitting about 50 kilogram of CO2 lah. Put it that way. Is it a lot? Tak tahu. The only way to know is to compare with what is the average numbers if we are doing this, say, physically. That's where ChatGPT comes in handy lah. So as you guys can see, the average carbon footprint for attendee physical life varies. Okay, understand. Sebab dia ada travel, venue, accommodation, okay. Tapi roughly lah kalau you tengok dekat bawah ni, it will say for typical large multi-day conference specifically with significant travel footprint can range between 500 to 2005 per attendee, 50 to 200 kilogram. Okay, regional smaller event per person, multi-day. Ni per person Okay, imagine sebab dia punya numbers are saying multi-day conference. So normally it's about 2 to 3 days. You're gonna get per attendee about that. Kalau smaller events, it's about 50 to 100. So assuming kita punya ni macam smaller events, 50 to 200 kg, let's say you divide by 2, because let's say you want to take like a 1-day event, roughly we're saying about 25 kilogram of carbon for physical event. Per person per person. Okay, so for example, kalau kita ada 200 orang, you dah 25 times 250. Kan, 25 times 250. So roughly you're going to get about 6,250 kilogram, or this is actually 6 ton. Yes, 6,000 kilogram is 6 ton of carbon emission. Kalau ikut average for this event, kalau kita buat physically. Compare that with kita punya number tadi. 50 kilogram sahaja. Because we are doing this virtually. 50 as opposed to 6,000. Yeah, roughly it is about 10%. Betul tak? Kalau kita ambil dekat lah, 50 out of 5,000. No, even less than 10%. Kalau 10% is 500, sorry. So 50 is about 1% from the overall carbon emission kalau kita buat event ni physically. Okay. Of course, I didn't take into account the server. Server pun kena buat juga. Tapi server ni very small lah. Meaning when you do this, Zoom ada server. So katakan Zoom guna, Webex. Webex ada satu server. Server ni pun ada electricity that dia emit. Tapi normally very, very small. Kalau you tengok kat sini pun is about less than 1 kg. Maybe about 1 kg lah. Lampu tadi pun you got roughly about 50 kg. So if you go back to my slide. So what it is saying here is true. Yeah. In fact, our emission is about 1% today's session, as opposed to if we are doing this physically. Nampak tak beza dia? Berapa banyak tu? Okay. So what I've shown you earlier is something that you can start practicing whenever you do events physically or virtually. At least you know, because the most important part in sustainability is you need to understand how much you are living in terms of footprint. Because once you dah ada the numbers, you can offset or maybe you can reduce. The purpose of this net zero carbon event is bukan untuk totally go to net zero tau. Net zero ni is a long way to go. Okay, but the important part is you need to reduce your footprint. To reduce, you kena tahu you punya baseline. So what we are doing right now is the baseline.
Oh, ada. Bila punya ni?
Sorry guys, need to siapa-siapa yang still turning on their mic tu, okay, please mute it. Thank you. All right. So what I was saying is that record or try to calculate your current carbon emission. So katakan nak buat event dekat UUM physically, tak ada masalah. Just calculate. Use the material that I showed you earlier in this document. Ada banyak. It's just a matter of understanding the numbers and calculating. Kena buat kerja sikit lah. So once you have that, next time you do the same event, try to reduce that. Yeah. For example, your physical event may be releasing about 6 ton of carbon. So kita punya, for example, you nak buat convocation lah. Example convocation in UUM. Calculate semua, okay, this convocation for 2024, kita release 10 ton of carbon emission. We might need to offset that, but next year, let's target. Can we reduce by 5 ton? So that kita kena fikir lagi more things that we can do, so that from 10 ton of carbon, kita nak reduce to 5 ton of carbon. And if you're able to do that and prove the numbers, this should be celebrated. This should be actually highlighted. And this is what we want in events. Right now, the challenge in events is that people talk a lot about the things that they do, but they are not able to prove because calculation is not done. For example, dia kata, okay, we use recycle materials lah, kan? They use non-plastic bottles lah, guna yang apa, Tetra Pak punya mineral water kah, kita guna apa, refillable water instead of bagi mineral bottles. But all of that is not calculated. It's just activities or things that you do to show that you are sustainable. But do you know how much carbon you are actually living in terms of footprint? So that's the message that I'm sharing today lah. The ability to calculate your footprint, regardless travel, semua dah ada. Calculator is all on the web. You don't have to learn how to build this formula. Formula dah ada. Just a matter of getting the data, masukkan and compiling them to understand your footprint. Okay. Now, Webex have whatever that we're using right now. Webex ni. Okay. If you realize this is their news, bila you log in into Webex, not sure whether you baca, but November, kita dalam November, you tengok dia punya the first news that they put. Reduce your energy emission with carbon aware mode, meaning the technology that Webex have injected, yeah, meaning that dia boleh realize that whether you are on a grid, masuk grid ni is the electricity that you use depending on location. Yeah, so for example, if you are Malaysia tak ada solar dengan wind so much, which is why we are on carbon, we are on natural gas and coal in terms of kita punya electricity. So because of that, automatically dia akan guna lower technology to emit lower emission in terms of the apps. Maksudnya the servers and everything, dia akan kurangkan the power. But if you are on solar, renewable energy, for example in Europe, if you're using Webex, dia tahu you punya area is using the grid generated by solar or wind, what they will do is they will allow you to use the best capacity or features because dia tahu the energy that is being supplied for you to use Webex are coming from renewable that is not emitting as much carbon footprint as coal or natural gas. Amazing, kan? You don't actually have to do anything about this. It's just that behind the scene, they have implemented this technology so that they can save carbon footprint. Kalau dia tak cakap benda ni, kita tak tahu. And the reason why I'm highlighting it today so that you know, okay, how technology has evolved. Good? Okay? Thumbs up. Or whatever. To make sure that you guys are still there. The last 2 or 3 slides that I have for you today is about the technology and apps that are available. We go back to the Slido. Just gonna go to the last polling. Okay. So just list down again. I think this is a word cloud. Yeah, this is a word cloud. Just type in any of the software that you know or heard in the virtual event media space that you have used. Or maybe you have heard last time. Pernah guna. Anything related to virtual technology. Definitely Webex is one of them lah. Okay, just want to see anything else that we have not heard or some of you have not heard. Just type. You can type more than once. Tak ada masalah. Okay. Suspected. Webex dengan Zoom will go very high. Google Meet, good. Lagi? Apa lagi? Discord, amazing. I believe gamers, they use Discord a lot. Betul eh? Now, my developers, in my company, because we are a technology company, we have programmers, we have developers or coders. Our team, the developers, surprisingly, they use Discord all the time. Yeah, so they turn on Discord all the time so that they can be connected to each other easily. They can discuss, they can collaborate. So Discord is their virtual tool for my developer team. Oh, Microsoft Excel ada tu. I'm trying to figure out macam mana Microsoft Excel ni can be used in virtual event space. TikTok Live, MySpace, Kahoot, yeah. Kahoot fun kan? Something like Slido, tapi they make it even more fun. YouTube Live, Facebook Live, WhatsApp, they have a WhatsApp call now. Yeah, WhatsApp video call ada. You can even share presentations in WhatsApp now. I think Team tu is it Microsoft Teams kot? MS Teams ya, ada tu Microsoft Teams. FaceTime, yes. Skype, quizzes. Anything else that you guys have seen in the virtual space? Sekejap lagi, I'm going to show you what are the available technologies. Cameo. What is Cameo? Meet, yes. Meet used to be really popular during the pandemic. Kan? I've seen some events on Meet. Yeah. Hopin, correct. Guess what? Hopin actually has been bought over. Yeah. Hopin used to be the number one masa pandemic. Unicorn. When I say unicorn, meaning that they are valued. That company was valued over 1 billion. Meaning it was the valuation went up to $7 billion now for Hopin. But after pandemic, they went down really hard. So they had to let go a lot of stuff. And I heard recently they sold the company at a much lower valuation. Which is why right now you don't see much Hopin. StreamYard, hey, thank you. Because during pandemic, I've done a lot of sessions virtually on StreamYard. Ada kita? Okay, good. Thank you very much. I think you have covered most of the technologies during pandemic that we have seen. Then, awesome, guys. Thank you for this information. Now let's look at my slide. The fragmented ecosystem of event technology. Sebab in events, there's so many aspects and technology are abundant. Okay. These are the report. I didn't compile this, and this is basically being compiled by a company called bweventstack.com. So all-in-one solutions means semua dia ada. Everything from physical to hybrid or even just virtual, they have it. Okay, maybe you have heard some of these guys, maybe you have not. Yeah, alright. And then dekat bawah tu kita ada content management. Content management ni is where you can build your own website, especially event website. Most probably you haven't heard of them. Now let's look at virtual first solution. These are, their focus is all about virtual dulu. Of course, they have other things. Let's look at some of them that you have mentioned. Zoom. I think nobody mentioned Vimeo. Yeah. In fact, we actually use Vimeo recently for one of our clients' event. Apa lagi? Hubilo was quite famous in Malaysia during pandemic. They're still around. You guys mentioned Amit. On24, it's quite big as well. A lot of these broadcasting media company, they use On24. These are basically for big organizations. Remo, Brand Life, Big Marker, yeah. So these are all virtual first companies. And then you have marketing. So for you to market your events, you would use this solution. Okay, and then you have venue sourcing. To do an event, you need to find venue again. So you would use these applications to find venues, to get quotations, yeah, to engage. So for example, if you want to do an event without knowing anyone in Korea, especially in Busan, again, you go onto this platform and search some of these venues or hotels and try to get the quotations. And then you would have on-site solutions. On-site is during event. So registration, kan? You would have a lot of engagement, apps. This one requires you to download. So these are the guys who really focus on delivering their experience on mobile apps. So event apps lah, I would call this. And last but not least, you would see room block management. Room block management is especially if you're dealing with delegates that you want to put in a hotel on the places for their accommodation. So you can basically block a certain portion of the rooms for incentive travel, kan? So a lot of technologies are being developed as well in this space. So as you can see, banyak aspect. Virtual is just one of them. So kalau you remember earlier, I mentioned to you about the triangle, tu kan? The global event technology, where you have the modern, you have the virtual and the wearable portion. Then you will be able to understand how you can pick and choose some of these solutions and technologies for you to get an appropriate solution that you can deploy for your events. And one thing we have to understand in conclusion at the bottom is that every event is different. Yeah, you can't just say that event ni sama je. Kan, kita dah boleh guna tak template macam last event. Of course, there are some similarities. But every event, to me personally, is unique. So we need to really look into each of these processes carefully and really understand what are the technologies and apps that are suitable to be used, whether they can be used for a hybrid or just virtual or just in person. Okay. Integration is vague and unclear, meaning that a lot of these apps, for example, in one event, kan, you guna Webex, you guna Slido, and then you guna Google Form. How do you integrate all of this data? It's not easy. It's challenging as well, because you have to use and understand, you have to learn. So if everything can be integrated, maybe it is a good thing. Again, every event is different, which is why tadi you see the all-in-one solution. Maksudnya, everything that you need is inside that solution. In some cases where integration is not possible, people will go for customization. But customization is always about dollar and cents. Meaning if you engage the technology guys and they have to customize, they will say that, okay, this customization will cost you this much. Are you willing to fork out this dollar and cents? Okay, so technology that are available, technology that can be integrated, technology that can be customized, they are all available. It's just a matter of understanding your goals. As I mentioned, doing an event, you need to know what are your goals, what are your KPIs, who are your target audience, whether you want to deliver it just in person or virtual only or in hybrid mode. Okay, so we go back to this. Yeah, as I mentioned, now you get a better idea of what I meant by global technology. Having all of these components together, the appropriate, the right one, and understanding every event is different. And sometimes you cannot just use one technology for everything. You need to have a combination that could be integrated or that could be customized. Okay, this is my last slide. Promise, last slide. So hybrid event is all about being present, yeah, and engaged. Yeah. So if it is a virtual, you can combine it with things that are in person, but more importantly is to ensure everyone who is involved, especially the delegates, the attendees, they are engaged, meaning you are able to retain their attention throughout the presentation. Yeah. Sometimes even in person, it's not easy, guys. I've been in an event where I'm on the stage delivering my talk, and guess what? Most of the time, the audience will look down because they have gadgets, right? So it's not easy. Yeah, it's the same challenge as virtual, where you need to get people to really listen into what you're saying on the screen, on the phone, right? So you have to ensure the engagement is there, regardless whether it is in person, virtual, or on hybrid mode. Okay, so that is my last slide. Um, I'm gonna go back and look at Slido, see whether we have any other questions that I need to answer. Seems like I've covered everything. In Webex messages, right? Phone, I've covered everything. In polling, last up, yeah, last thing. So thank you very much, everyone. So maybe if you have the time, just type in one or two things that you feel you have learned or heard the most from today's session. Because the more you put in here, you can type multiple answers. Then this could be something that you can screenshot and you can bring home. Yeah. So the more you put in here, the more we can learn together. Because sometimes you can't really process everything that I've shared. If I were to share my slides pun tadi, most of you will just go through, ingat lupa kan. Nobody actually takes notes these days. But if you put it here as a cloud, if you can get at each one of you, just write one or two words here. This could be your takeaway from today's session. In fact, nowadays AI pun, they are doing this. AI is actually trying to summarize all the things that speakers have done immediately. So I'm getting my human AI, which is you guys. Awesome. Keep them coming. Keep them coming. No matter how big, how small the thing, just leave it on the screen. That could be your takeaway. Yeah. Any last questions while people are keying in those information? Keep them coming. Any questions? Last. Memang betul-betul last ni kalau ada. Yang terbuku dalam hati, yang tak sempat, kan? Anything else outside of this, you can always reach out to me via LinkedIn. Yeah, that's where you can follow, you can basically ask questions as well if you have any other concerns from this session. If you want to follow our company IG, we're quite active in IG. Just go to Evenesis on IG. So this is where we showcase our technologies in events. Let me see whether I can. So you can just search for Evenesis and you could actually maybe learn one or two things from what we have done. We do a lot of stories, we do a lot of postings. Yeah. So just follow us here regularly, I would say. Anything else, you can reach out to us on this platform. See, sustainability, virtual event, carbon footprint, sustainability polling, segmentation, new money cost data. Lagi anything else? Privacy, engagement. IoT. Good. All right. I'm done. Thank you very much. Thank you guys. Terima kasih. I hope you guys have a great weekend. I'm gonna pass over to maybe the MC dulu lah kot kan, before you guys leave.
Okay, thank you so much, Mr. Yusno, for all the detail and interesting sharings about the featuring virtual event,
Most
and
welcome.
especially by explaining the role of technology capability, metaverse, and AI. And since they already asked the questions in your slide, I will proceed to our last session, our photo session. But before that, I need everyone to stay because we still have another session after this. Okay?
All right.
Everyone, open your camera. You may open it.
Okay, guys, I'm gonna stop sharing my screen, yeah. Later, maybe the Slido reports or outcome, I will share the organizer lah. Maybe can distribute, yeah.